In this example, you will determine the exact value of the secant of negative 3 pi over 4 using two different methods, one using the unit circle and one using reference triangles. For the unit circle method, begin by drawing the angle in standard position. Negative 3 pi over 4 is not one of the values shown in the unit circle since the angles are all positive, so think of this angle as a positive angle. To determine the secant ratio, you must remember that it is the reciprocal of the cosine ratio. On the unit circle, look at the point where the angle is 5 pi over 4. From the unit circle, you can see that the x-coordinate at this point is negative square root of 2 over 2. So this means that cosine 5 pi over 4 equals negative square root of 2 over 2, or cosine 5 pi over 4 equals negative 1 over the square root of 2. The exact value of secant negative 3 pi over 4 is negative square root of 2. For the reference triangle method, begin by drawing the angle in standard position. The angle from the terminal arm to the x-axis is called the reference angle. Determine the reference angle. Then use a reference triangle that contains that angle. This reference triangle has the angles measured in radians. From the reference triangle, you can determine the secant of pi over 4. To determine the secant of negative 3 pi over 4, you must think about which quadrant this angle terminates in. In this case, the terminal arm is in quadrant 3. In quadrant 3, both the x and y coordinates are negative. When looking at the cosine ratio, it is the x value that is used. So if the x-coordinate is negative, so is the cosine ratio.